Let's Talk Oculus, a VR podcast, is proudly sponsored by the good folks at Patreon. If you want to support the show, join us on patreon.com/Let's Talk Oculus. What's up, Oculusers? Welcome back to Let's Talk Oculus, episode 222. I'm your host as always. I'm Dan. I'm joined by my co-host as always is Samson. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, I am doing well. That was an easy one there. 222. Easy one to do. Easy one to do. Dan, it's cold. A lot of snow coming in. Giving us a lot of time to get some gaming in, I think. And I did some things I haven't done a lot in a while, I guess. I got into a little big screen, you know.
Nope. Very nice.
Good time. What how are you?
I'm okay. I mean, as you can hear from my voice, my voice is really bad. We were meant to record yesterday and I had no voice. I was whispering. And just because we're so faithful to get this podcast out every single week, we could have cancelled, but we were like, let's just figure it out and let's just try it. So
you just sound like Pack a Day, Dan.
Yeah. Like I hook so many dots. Yeah, that's exactly what I do. I'm not a smoker, everybody. Just want to point that out there. This is just a result after drinking way too much a few days ago, and it's still like this. So, here we are. But it might be a bit of a weird podcast today because of my voice. Samson's coughing too, so it's like it's going to be a weird one. But essentially, it's kind of the calm after the storm, shall we say, with all of the meta stuff. We've, since recording last week, a lot of people watched us on videos, so thanks everyone for watching on there. More details have come out. We've had some discussions on our own Discord and such. We now know that Batman Arkham Shadow 2 is cancelled, and amongst other things as well. And there's a few things that we need to discuss, and there was a lot of comments as well from that episode that we need to discuss. But then also, we've got a comment which is about asking any rewarding games, any fun games to like Hitman 3 VR. So we're going to talk about that as well as what we've been playing. And there's some drama in the modding community and developer community. It's all kicking off. So it's going to be more of a news centric episode today. We'll see how much we go before my voice disappears all together. Samson, bit of housekeeping first.
Housekeeping.
Oh,
you even got the dog in on it. That's
just making the.
I even got the dog in on it.
As always, join the Discord. It's free to join. Actually, just as we're recording here, we've had a few players playing our Walkabout Thursdays that our kind friend Dave from Patreon the show hosts. Samson also hosts one normally on the weekend as well, where we can play Walkabout amongst everybody. And obviously, if you don't have the DLCs, well, we have them. So, it's a guest mode.
Somebody does.
Play. There's a Walkabout tournament with Healing Entree who is hosting that every single week. So definitely join in for that. You can post your scores to Healing Entree. And Samson also... Sorry?
You ready for the courses this week, Dan?
Yes.
They are 8-bit layer easy and Tiki, Coco hard. Oh,
what a course, man. What a course. I've been playing more of it today, but we'll talk about it later. And also, if you want to support us, patreon.com/Let's Talk Oculus. Over to listener comments. It's always a great part of the show. Samson, to give my voice a 5-second rest here, please quickly, you can write us at letstalkoculus@gmail.com, on YouTube, comments on Spotify, on Discord. There's an episode discussion. We have got loads of comments. I didn't pick out every single one because I couldn't read them all out, for one episode. But keep writing in and we'll read some more out next week and so on and so forth. But Samson, what is the first comment?
The first comment from Kill Delta is... I'm okay if meta disappears from VR. If indies will take over and hybrid games, even with games only using VR cameras, not with motion control, I'm okay with that. VR needs a reset from the meta era. The only reason I play VR is to feel like I'm inside the game and world that is it. So VR camera mode in games is a minimum for me.
Yeah, thank you so much for a comment. I mean, that's a bit of a throwback to like some of the PSVR 1 games, right? Resident Evil 7, for example. Gran Turismo, I mean, currently now as well is like very much you can play just with a controller and such, and it's just being in the game, which is really fun. Wipeout, yeah, exactly. Astrobot. Nice one.
Dude, there's a lot of them. It's a great time. And a lot of UEVR games, that's how you play them. Also Star Wars Squadrons. Another great one.
There's a lot for that. Yeah, for sure.
I really wish these would come to PSVR 2, quite honestly, and Quest 3, but I feel like PSVR 2 is more natural for that. But I agree with a lot of this from Kill Delta. I do think this will be the time of the indies, and I think that Meta said in this Boz recent interview that they're going to be refocusing to third party. Which is great, because something we both played this week, that crafting crimes game, I noticed at the very end it thanks like Oculus Publishing or whatever, so Meta clearly had something to do with that. And so if they can sort of help get more of those like really unique, cool like experiences, that's what I'm here for, Dan. That's what brought me here. That's what keeps me around. And I agree that if they can just bring a lot of these flat experiences, even just in a camera mode, that should be easier to do in theory. But I love it. I don't know that everybody out there would. And Live Open Mike has mentioned that he feels like there would be a bit of a backlash, so to say. I don't mean to put words in his mouth, but I think that's basically how he feels. And I don't know that it would go that far, but I don't know that it would go over super well with everybody for sure. So I would like it.
They're going to be basically like Valve with the Steam frame, essentially, right? That's going to be generally like a third-party VR device. Valve probably aren't going to make anything. And even if they do, they'll make one game, and if that's it, pretty much. They don't really make games anymore, to be honest.
I can't see them going much further than like a port of Half-Life Alyx.
Yeah. And I wouldn't be surprised if they can do it, and at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if they can't do it at the same time, right? It would be a big system seller for a lot of people to play that game, especially in full portability, and such. But the meta going to be the same, and that's fine. It's just we're so used to. You think about like the PS5 and such, we're so used to a lot of like first party games and such, but they are so expensive to make now, and plus really first party can only get you so far. It's really all about the third party market. And once again, you look back on PS1, PS2 eras, and most of those games that you remember are the third party, the first party ones, don't get me wrong, heavy hitters and such, or just really fun, like Crash Bandicoot and all that stuff. But there's so many third party games out there for those kind of consoles, which were just created epic memories, to be honest. So as long as they keep funding, then I think we'll be fine. Yeah. It's just that now that they've pulled the plug, all those big games that were meant to come out later this year, next year, 2028, have now just gone and may never return.
Those AAA ones.
Yeah, exactly. So,
and whatever you got to imagine that they were funding that Cloudhead game, and then
right.
Like
so I'm okay if Meta disappears from the VR gaming scene as well. I'm like not too fussed. I don't actually agree with a lot of Meta's like policies as well, and like what they do as a company, to be honest. So I'm not too bothered in that respect, but it is sad to see from everyone's jobs getting lost and all that. So sorry, go on, Samson.
Yeah, from a labor aspect, it's pretty awful. But did you see that they are also moving away from Horizon being moved to just mobile? And moving that away from the VR, which is fantastic. It's like great, both great for gamers and developers. Like now their games are going to be pushed in front of you again instead of Worlds.
Although with the app on the phone,
hope.
is it still going to stay the same? Like you need the app to...
I think so. I imagine so. But Dan, we can hope and pray that we get our Oculus app back.
Yeah, that's fair enough. They are getting rid of the, the For You page or the feature page, the Horizon feed on the VR headset, which is nice. I mean,
nobody was hungry for that.
I think they know everyone's just going straight to their library first and then going into the store and such. And speaking of store, Samson, this is going to be a very tangent podcast, so buckle up, everybody. I miss store music. Like, do you remember back, like, we had, like, Wii Shop music. The PS Vita had great shop music. Lots of handhelds. All the DS had great shop music. Like, we miss those shop music. Like, it's such an iconic part of some of these consoles.
I can remember the Wii menu, all that, like, all those sounds are pretty iconic to me. But that's really the only one that stands out to memory.
You don't remember the actual shop music for the Wii?
I mean, if I heard it, I'd be like, "Oh, that's that." But I couldn't repeat it. Could you sing it for us?
No, because I've got the PS Vita one in my head because I was just listening to it just before this podcast, and I was like, "Oh yeah, god damn, it just
it's a banger.
Takes you back. It just takes you back to different memories and such." And not every console or handheld had shop music, but when they do, it slaps. It really slaps. You know, I love the music.
Would you like me to read the next one?
Yes.
Okay.
Please.
From Neon Chaos 5483. Think game preservation. When Meta shuts their servers down, all those purchased games, the real vaporware, or when Gabe passes, Steam is privately owned. Will there be a Steam? Will you still be happy when you own nothing? I will not. The last 10 years, yes. Only 1 decade since Oculus CV1 for me. VR has been my playground. I cannot run any of my VR purchases on my PC alone. Will any of my VR purchases run without servers? Quick question. Can you run a Quest 1, 2, 3, or Pro without a server handshake? So please, don't ask, can it get any worse? NC out. P.S. I remember the 1970s pre-PC life when I was entertained with my own imagination and music, but I was young and healthier then and owned my toys.
I love that comment. It's kind of fun. Like basically, that whole comment is a bit of a rant, and it's also written as a rant as well. But yeah, game preservation. It's not really a thing on VR. It's just everything's always been digital and always will be. There's no even like, is it Green Man Gaming or Dog or something like that helps you like have, is like the closest thing to owning your games as a digital sense. But yeah,
DRM free. Like I mean, DRM there's PlayStation. You can buy a handful of their games on disc. Yeah, I imagine a lot of them are probably all on the disc. I don't know that all of them.
Although even the disc is like odd. Like I got Spider-Man 2 over the Christmas break, and as soon as I put it in, it had to download it, and it was 85 gig. That was really odd. I was like, hold on, it's on the disc. It wasn't copying. Sometimes when you get the PlayStation game, it says copying from disc and all that. But it downloaded literally 85 gig to play the game. That was odd.
Yeah, a lot of them. There is a website, I think, that you can use to check whether or not the discs need a server. Internet. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So not all the games that you buy on disc are also owned fully, you know. But but thanks for your comment, Neon Chaos. That was chaos, and it was fun to see. But you know, OG since Oculus CV1. Do you have a CV1? You bought one, didn't you, or did you get a CV2?
No. That's a DK.
That was a development one. Yeah, fair enough. Samson, keep going. Help
I'd
me
love to. I'm having fun over here. From Jonathan Moore, 7582. Hard to tell what meta strategy is going forward, but AAA single-player games didn't make a difference. judging by first achievements, Arkham Shadow had 1.6 million because of the bundle, but Behemoth, Metro, and Alien were all under 85K. I think we may see more like The Boys, where PSVR 2 and Quest get launches as they don't want to partly fund games that could end up on Steam Frame.
Yeah, it's interesting. With the thing is, with the funding, even if it does make it on Steam Frame, they'll get, like, if they put something into the contract or whatever with the funding, they'll still get some of the profits and such, even though it's on other, like, platforms and such. But I don't know, like, you think of, like, some of the PlayStation games have gone to Steam now. Like, they're putting it on there, but it's more to do to, I guess they're maybe more to, like, get people into their ecosystem. So, you know, that's another.
This Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle game will be on Steam. So
be on everything, yeah. It'll be on everything. And
is it coming to PlayStation?
I think so. I don't know if they. I just assume that it'll be on everything.
Yeah, I think it's just Steam and Meta right now.
Fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, it's very difficult to put it on all those different platforms at once, as we've seen a lot of games just break because they've tried to get them on as many platforms as possible. So if they just bring it out to PSVR later, that's fine. But a lot of, like, this whole industry is kind of going into more, it's like less exclusives, more, you know, just play parity. Like, no matter where you are, you can play the game. Like, obviously Sony still have the odd exclusives, but there's much less than what they used to be. So, but then you got all the other consoles like Xbox and such. They just announced the new Forza and it's coming out on PlayStation. So, you know, everything's an
Xbox, that's for sure. Fable's coming to PlayStation too.
I know. That's wild, isn't it? That's wild. But actually, it's not wild because Halo's coming out for PlayStation this year. I keep forgetting that.
Speaking of these achievements, remember the Medal of Honor one from the first mission had like 10,000, 11,000. So yeah. I tend to agree. Although a lot of these AAA experiences are really cool and great to be in, as many of our listeners know, I don't often finish them. But I a lot of them I do enjoy being in, except that where I am in that labyrinth in Metro. I never want to be there again. Really, honestly, it's like visiting a terrible place. That's how it feels. I guess it's very immersion. Like that's how good it is. I guess in theory.
I think I'm about to say. Go on, you continue.
I lost my train. It was something. It was something with these achievements, Dan. And like that's just not where the player numbers are, right? No. Like there's got to be more people are in Walkabout, more people are in Golf Plus, more people are in Forefront, more people are in VR chat. You know, like that's just where these things are right now.
I also don't think Meta did a great job in marketing these other games, like. Arkham Shadow was a marketing success. They had lots of marketing for it. There was a lot of good PR press. Obviously, that franchise is beloved to a lot of people. It was on everywhere, and you know it was obviously bundled, and you get it for free when you got that was a big system seller, everything like that. But with all their other games. I don't think they've been marketed very well in general. Like no one really knows about much of the other AAA games that they did put out and such. Arkham Shadow aside, and
it's
like just gamers and such. And maybe they need to do more maybe they need to do more stuff in person as well when it comes to like I remember seeing PlayStation VR. I don't know if it was it was the first one because it was when I first moved to Canada, and in the mall they had like a whole PSVR one set up to play. It was with the PS Aim controller, and it was to play. I think it was Farpoint. Yeah, Farpoint and such. And they just had a whole like pop up, and it was really really cool and really fun. And I remember a few of those in the UK that would happen and such, and that was really cool. Obviously, I mean. PSVR 1 did decent enough for them to go for a second one, but and the second one I'm not sure if they did any more of those, to be honest, but the Quest didn't really do, not on this side, and maybe in America they did and such, right? So I don't know, but on this side I didn't see as much, right? There's no like partnership with maybe Best Buy where they have like a full-on little station that you could maybe try it and all that stuff, you know, so a lot of things that could have been to that rather than people not caring, maybe just people not knowing the state of the store being absolutely awful and you can't find anything. I know some of the AAA ones would be pushed more, but still, maybe that contributed to a lot of this as well.
VR is just always going to be a niche of gaming. And when you can't convince enough of the like gamers out there that want to play a Batman game, if you can't sell regular Batman fans on the VR Batman, like they're going to have to be buying a headset to do that. Then, you know, all the VR people interested in these games are going to buy them up, and that's your market, right? It's going to be hard to, outside of when they come out, like to keep maintaining these sales. Like on everybody who wanted Metro's been on sale a bajillion times by now, has probably bought Metro, and if they're not selling new headsets to people like at a very high rate, then everybody who wanted Metro has got Metro by now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I know what you're saying. So anyway, thanks Jonathan Moore for that comment. Samson, let's go into one of the highlighted comments of today, after you once again.
Yes, from Nicolas Tots, topic of the show. Dan, that was a little extra.
That was not for you to read. That was us to, but that's okay. That's okay.
I got a Meta Quest 3S today, and I was trying to find some fun games such as Hitman 3 VR. Do you have any other game recommendations that also require a little bit of patience and progression that feel earned? Love the podcast, by the way. Discuss any VR game. Wait, that's the end, or is this more of the comment?
That's for us. That's for us.
There's nothing in between that one.
So, I should have put it in red, and you would have still read it. Great question, Nicola. This one's a tough one, actually, because there's not many games like Hitman 3 out there in general, right? Especially on the VR sense. It's such a unique type of game. It's a great idea. It's a unique type of game, and there's not too much. But like, if you're still trying to cure the itch of something that feels rewarding, maybe you die a lot, maybe and such, and then, you know, you just gotta keep going at it, that kind of thing. I think Action Hero.
That's how I interpreted the question. Is like just like a more of a grand experience. It's a bit like, you know, a bit deeper than your average experience.
I would say Action Hero does tick that box though, in terms of the challenge. Because it's a very fun game. It has a lot of comedy in and such, and essentially it's a game where it's kind of mission based, and essentially you are a stunt double, shall we say, and you are in many different movie scenes, and essentially it's kind of got this super hot kind of feel to it, where time kind of slows down or speeds up as you're moving. To an extent, it's not exactly the same. But it's very fun and very like you need to just keep playing again, learn the movements from all the other different NPCs and such, and then obviously proceed through the level. And if you like movies, if you like the pop culture kind of, you know, style of movies, there's a lot of throwbacks to a lot of those big movies that everyone's probably seen at least once in there. For example, a big ball from Indiana Jones coming crashing down and such. But it's really fun. That the narrator is absolutely great, who is the character that you're playing, basically. And yeah, I would highly recommend it. I love this game. It's really fun. It's really cheap to play. And it's one of those games where it's like a good 15, 20 minutes, to be honest. You can just go in, play 15, 20 minutes, maybe just half an hour, and then jump out. It's one of those. You know, it's not a game that you really need to spend like an hours in just to go through it. So I would say Action Hero as one of my picks. What about you, Samson?
Dan, did you know that in Disney World there was a live action sort of Indiana Jones thing that you could see at MGM Studios, which is probably called something different now?
I've seen it in the past. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so you've seen it, and so you know how the ball chases a guy, and then there was apparently an accident, and now they changed it. And I watched a video of what it is now, and it's awful. It doesn't look it's not as good. The ball doesn't look like the ball. Yeah, it doesn't. Well, there's it's just very different, and it doesn't look like the ball actually hits the person. It doesn't look like a stunt anymore. That's my point.
Fair enough.
Dan, my first one here, I'm going to go with Ancient Dungeon, because this one, honestly, couldn't beat it alone. But I know it can be done. Squashy's done it a bajillion and one times. But this is one that I love to play with a group, and it's tough. You got to be patient, because if you're not patient with these enemies or learning how they attack you, it's gonna be a quick run. Am I right?
Because 100%.
There's the enemy that sort of disappears and then reappears 10 feet towards you. Ooh. Mm-hmm. No bueno. And it's great. They keep adding more. It's got the melee, it's got the not archery, it's got the crossbow, and then it's got the magic book guy. And
I just want to say also, sometimes it kicks your ass. Like when you're trying to climb across, and then there's a random spike that comes at you, and also there's a random skull that just comes charging at you and such from nowhere. It does kick you in the ass, and that's why it's much easier with more people. But if you really want a challenge, do it yourself. Just go in there alone.
So I guess, though it's not similar really to Hitman, it is about learning patterns and using those patterns to your advantage, which is similar to Hitman in a way.
Yeah. No, I think that's a good pick. I wasn't thinking of that, but I think that's a great pick. And if we want to take it closer to Hitman, I want to throw the Aspire games out there. Aspire 1, Aspire 2. More the second one. I enjoyed the second one much more than the first one. These games are more on the stealthier side, kind of like Hitman. They promote stealth. I do like the second one more just because there's different play styles depending on basically the character that you are. And if you're the small one, you can be nimble and you can kind of get into small little places and be super stealth. And you can obviously try and beat the game completely in stealth. You don't have to, go guns blazing, but you can do that if you want. It's a decent game. I wouldn't say it's probably not going to be as good as a Hitman and such, although I haven't played Hitman on the Quest. But I played Hitman just on PS5 before. But it's a decent game. I would say lower your expectations, and if it's on sale quite often, to be honest. But have a look at Aspire 2 more than anything. And then they have the mixed reality stuff as well, if you're interested in that, or if you have the space for that. But if you're craving the stealth, there's not many, to be honest, that kind of scratches that itch, but Aspire 2 is definitely
it uses voice commands too, right?
Yeah, it can do, yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it can do. So did Thief as well. Well, sorry, Samson, I know you're going to go, but I guess this goes straight into my last one. Thief VR. It was an unintentional segue. Thief VR is another one where, yes, you can use your voice, but Thief VR is funny because it's there's one specific objective, but the cool thing about it is very similar to Hitman, where there's different paths you can take to get to that objective. In terms of just the environment, you can go left, you can go right, you're through a hidden passageway and such. And then once again, most of the time you don't have to kill anyone either. You could just sneak past everybody, get your target, and then you got to get out of there. And it's like I said when we did a review of this, or not a review, just an impressions of this in December. It starts off kind of slow and a little bit ganky, but after once you get your eye and like the special eye in there. And I think that's like two or three missions in. It gets really good and it's enjoyable. I need to go back to it. I haven't actually played much VR this year since the holidays, but it's once again Hitman style where different ways to get around. You have to leave the place without getting caught. It's still not the same as Hitman, but it definitely is on that wavelength. And it's satisfying if you get into it. If you get into the lore, get into the story, and really like get immersed in it, which I did, it's very, very satisfying to play. So, Samson, that was my picks. Action Hero, Thief VR, and Aspire 2. Back to you.
Yes. Assassin's Creed Nexus. This is a full campaign game, much like Hitman is a full campaign game. You can sort of sandbox your way around. You can decide to do the missions and just crush everything and go right to point A to point B and do all that. Or you can just kind of mess around and walk around the city and be a disturbance, be a good citizen. Don't kill people, do whatever you like. And in that way, it's similar to Hitman.
Yeah.
And it's fun. It's pretty fun.
It was also very, like, I will give you that as well because it is very rewarding in terms of the parkour. The parkour is excellent in this game. And it's really fun to, especially when you're running away from guards and such, to like jump around and get at, just try and evade them essentially. And it's incredibly satisfying to do some of the hidden blade, assassinations and kills and such, like it is in the actual, flat screen games. So there are a lot of rewarding parts of it. This one's more, I would say less so than Ancient Dungeon and the other picks, but there's definitely the parkour alone is very rewarding, and using stuff like throwing knives is very rewarding.
Yeah, I love that. What's when you jump off the cliff into the bushes?
The not eagle vision that you're in the top. Oh my gosh! Now you keep talking. I'll figure it out.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's fun. That when you do that feels good too. And last one, this one is not as deep, I'd say, and probably least similar to Hitman, but I've had a good time. Leap of Faith. That's it. Nice. Is Dungeons of Eternity, Dan. And this one is a roguelike where your character is going to slowly level up. You get 3 different types of dungeons you've got to go through. Each one sort of you can upgrade different things. There's dungeons where you can find weapons and the such. Or there's the mode that sort of plays like a horde mode, kind of where you get waves and you got to collect all their souls. And that one allows you to get potions, I believe. And then you can use those potions to go do your runs. And then the last one is blue, and that one sort of gives you permanent upgrades that you can apply to your character. For example, like running faster, being able to jump further, things of the sort. And it's just a lot of fun to unlock all these weapons. They're all like, they've got random perks to them. So you'll get one that does slowing damage. You'll get one that does, now I'm blanking on like all of them. Ice damage, fire damage. And my favorite personally is the crossbow with multiple reloads. So you reload it once and you can shoot like 7 times. Ooh, it's a little OP, but I love it. But the throwing feels pretty good on the weapons. And this one is, I've had a lot of fun solo on this one. I actually preferred to do the green and the blue dungeon solo. I much preferred that. And then I would do the red dungeons, which are the ones that you go for the loot. I would like to do those. I would do those with folks. But those are also fun to do solo. And then there's always a boss at the end. I always prefer to go with distance, like the throwing or the crossbow. There's also a staff that you can use to heal your friends if you want. Oh, one of my permanent things is I heal automatically, so I don't really need the health staff. but there's one that does goes boom and it just throws gravity and people go flying, Dan. It's a good time. It's a good time. Dungeons of Eternity. You're not going to get plot, right? You're not getting any plot or anything like this, but you can have a good time here. Yeah.
That's a good pick. It's a pick that I still haven't played. I can't believe I haven't played. I have it on my Quest. It's just on there, but I've never gotten around to it, Samson. Where if I could make folders, I could create a backlog folder and put these games in there. But there's no folders, so
I got to get more on the PC. It looks really nice on
that. Yeah. Perfect. That's everything. All right. Thanks, Nicola, for your question there. And you sent that a couple weeks ago, but obviously things hit the fan last week, Samson. All right, Samson, I'm going to wrap up here for part one whilst I get some more water. In part two, we have some more news to talk about. It's going to be a bit of a weird one today. So we'll see you all in part two.
Hey, we know public lobbies in VR games can be a bit toxic, feel a bit empty at times. That's why we created the Let's Talk Oculus Discord, a friendly community that you can join for multiplayer meetups, general VR chat, the game, and chat about VR, fitness motivation, and there's even a very impressive 3D printing channel. Join over 100 of our community members in the Let's Talk Oculus Discord for free. The link is right in the description.
Welcome back to part two of LTO 2022. Sorry,
nailed it.
There's so many twos, Samson. Let's talk about some more news because, like I said, last week we talked about all the meta shutdowns and such. And then we had a lot of comments saying Batman Arkham Shadow 2 is also cancelled. Because it happened basically, I think, a day after we recorded.
Yeah, so it was like we hit publish and it happened.
Yeah, exactly. So just when we finished recording, it was confirmed. Most of Camouflage, who worked on the original game, basically got disbanded. But here's the kicker, Samson. They weren't working on Batman Arkham Shadow 2. We don't know what they were working on. Sanzaro, who made Asgard's Wrath and Asgard's Wrath 2, they were the team behind the sequel of Batman Arkham Shadow 2. So they just picked it up and they were going to continue that. So what on earth were Camouflage working on? They were, I forget his name, I think it was Ryan, who's one of the main creative directors, so I can't remember, so I apologize. But he said that he'd love a Wolverine game in VR. He said it would be pretty sick, and who's to say it could have been something like that they're starting early work on that for maybe the Quest 4. But who's to say? We're only speculating. Elsewhere, Meta funded a Harry Potter game, allegedly, from Skydance, and ultimately pulled the plug on that.
That one's sad, Dan, because there's going to be, I think, a bunch of Harry Potter stuff coming out with the new Harry Potter show that's due to come out, I think, next year or something like that. It sounds like they're just trying to pump out old school style. Just there's going to be toys. They're going for video. They were going for a VR game. They're doing everything, and that I don't know what that could have been, because I've been watching my partner play a lot of Hogwarts Legacy, and she's, I think, a bit more into Harry Potter than I am, and she's loving it. She's loving just being in that whole world. Yeah. And so if they could have just nailed that, it's such a hard thing to do, right? There's so many things that you can do in VR.
Right.
I can't even imagine. I feel like you would want to do one smaller scope thing, but do it really well. And I don't know. We'll never know. We will never know.
Maybe they were going to bring Harry Potter Chamber of Secrets from the PS1 over to let's just pretend it's that, because that was a really good game.
That was from the days of each platform having a different game. A different version of this. Yeah. Love it.
Yeah. different times. But yeah, real sad to see Camouflage. You know, when we went through the studios last week, we went through Beat Games, Beat Saber, Big Box, Population One, Aura Interactive, who do the Horizon Worlds game, Super Strike, and Super Rumble, I think. And the last of the studio was Camouflage, and it's like, oh, they've kept Camouflage. That's going to be the big game. I was thinking that it will be out later this year, and maybe it would have been. Who's to say? But probably not. They wouldn't have cancelled it at this point if it was out this year, to be honest. But next year, probably. But unfortunately, we're not going to see it. Will we ever get it? Who's to say? You know, it's going to be a IP that now Meta own, and will they release it basically and let like a third party or let someone buy it off them, you know? Who's to say? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if the studio is going to be big enough to buy that IP, considering it did really well. We had a comment, right? That was, it was from Jonathan Moore, who said that the Arkham Shadow had 1.6 million achievements in the first achievements. They must have done amazingly well, Arkham Shadow. I'm really surprised that got cancelled as well. You know, I'm really surprised that they let that one go, because that one did so well. And it's like, they would have probably made their money back, probably. Maybe they're just... way. I don't know. But either way,
these like AAA, that's why they're going away, Dan. None of these AAA games made their money back.
That's true, yeah. And Boz was just saying, like, what did he say? Like, just going to go third party now, and that's pretty much it. They just have to rip the Band-Aid, and, you know, that
where they probably get their money back just in the 30% cut.
Right. Well, moving on, they also ripped the Band-Aid off Horizon Workrooms. That is disappearing in February. Horizon Workrooms, as some of you may or may not know, is a productivity app which lets you work and collaborate with others in VR. If you're in there on your own, you could have like a monitor. You can have, I think you have 3 monitors, and then you have you can have a massive widescreen monitor. A lot of people are disappointed by this because some of them they like to do their work meetings in there. Personally, I'm not disappointed. I think it was absolutely awful app, and I tried it so many times and when all the different updates, and it kept getting worse with the updates. And there's so many better solutions out there for, if you want to work in VR, so many out there. And this was definitely the worst one out of all of them. Even Immersed, that I don't think has really been kept up now that, you know, they've been doing their whatever visor, if that is ever going to come out. Even that was better, you know.
Yeah, I don't have much to say about this one. I never really got in.
No. So this is a good thing that they're shutting this down. I expect them to replace this with hopefully a better version, because I think this is one key thing that they'd want their next headset, or the Phoenix headset that might be coming out at the end of the year, which seems to be more of a Apple Vision Pro competitor. That's something that they'd want. So this going away for a new, and they'll probably not call it Horizon Workrooms either. Maybe the Horizon brand is starting to disappear because that's going to be more to do with the metaverse stuff, and Workrooms is going to be its own thing.
I see it more being geared towards the glasses, honestly, because just seeing that little box will have a lot of the things that you'd want from a work app, right? For as far as seeing maybe what somebody else is doing, or a little ping from them, and then you're just on your computer, like you know.
I wonder if someone could make a you'd have Word in VR also, where instead of Word, it's a typewriter, and you're using your own keyboard, but through the VR headset, it feels like you're typing on a typewriter, and it makes all those sounds and all that stuff. That could be fun. A little bit different than just a big white screen and you're just typing on a monitor kind of thing. Just using VR basically for what it can do. That'll be fun. Maybe, in theory. I'm sure someone could whip that up really quickly as well. But anywho, then finally, to tie it all together, they're shutting down its Quest for Business program, which launched in 2017, which is a program to offer businesses like headsets, commercial license, mats, device management, all that stuff. big companies do this. Apple do this all the time as well, having like a enterprise or business kind of thing. But that's going away too. That's gone. So they've had a big shift in 2026. A big shift. Well, they must have seen the numbers and they were just like, we need to go into the Ray-Ban glasses territory more than anything.
I mean, honestly, Dan, a lot of this is what we've been wanting. I mean, a shift away from Horizon, give the game developers a lot more space, a lot more, store space, things like this. Mm-hmm. And you're not wrong. Yeah, I feel pretty good. I've seen this Dilmer V, who I guess is a YouTuber, but I've seen him on Twitter. And he's been at Meta for about a year now, and he emphasized that they're not giving up on games, and quote unquote, this is going to be a very good year. I'm honestly looking forward to helping as many VR devs as we can. More on this coming soon, and it just leaves a little bit of strange amount of hope as far as that goes. And Dan, I don't mean to move on from this business program.
You move on.
But I've got a little bit of good news out there, because I saw that Real VR Fishing hit 1 million purchases, I think, which is crazy. Yeah, I think too. Job Simulator hit 6 million installs or something like this, which is a lot of jobs to be simulating, quite honestly.
All right. People love work. Crazy.
So, a little positive little bits in there.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, the business program shutting down, and I think that's in like 2030, right? So that's got a few more years.
Yeah. Well, they're stopping it basically from now. But yeah, 2030 is when it's going to be completely seized. Support and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But you can't get it now in general. It's just whatever's existing is kind of ramping down. But yeah. Anyway, that's the updated stuff. I mean, maybe I don't think it's kind of died down now in terms of that big week that we had last week. But everything's okay. Everyone chill out. It's all good. I mean, it's not all good. It's sad that there's not going to be an Arkham Shadow 2, which is, one of the best games on VR. They're sad that we might not have the Wolverine game. The Harry Potter game, I mean, less so because of all the J.K. Rowling things, so I'm not sure if I care too much about that one, but it's sad that they can't put out a big game. And yeah, everything's going to be okay. It's going to be a more healthy ecosystem in the long run. We're just potentially going to have a little bit of a dip whilst Steam Frame and whatever Meta is going to come out and such in terms of hardware. Potentially. I say that in potentially. Third-party companies are still working in the background. And like I said on last week's podcast, we got we got Arcanage and Ghost Town. And they were the two best games last year. And they were all entirely third-party. And no, I don't think they had any funding from Meta, to be honest. I mean, Arcanage came straight out on PC and Steam as well, and obviously Ghost Town was on everything, and also Midnight Walk, which won Game of the Year. That's a third-party game as well, albeit was on Sony, but also on Steam. Yeah, and also on Flat. So there's plenty of hope. It's just sad that we won't get Arkham Shadow 2 more than anything, and obviously for people's jobs, but I think we're going to be in a better place moving forward. Where is the Steam Frame, by the way? I thought we'll have something by now in terms of
soon,
price
Dan.
and all that stuff.
Soon.
It's not going to be there before PAX, is it? Let's be honest. I got excited. I wanted you to get it so I could try it. But
here's the thing. They don't need to send it to the stores, right? They only sell it from their own store. So they can announce like 2 weeks out from it releasing.
That's true.
Or something like this. But Dan,
anyways,
let me segue from this sort of meta news to this BJ, who's a developer of Legendary Tales.
What BJ are you talking about?
And BJ sort of has some comments. He had a very long Twitter thread that you can find on Twitter, and in it touches on a lot of these things that have to do with these meta shutdowns and all that in a way. And what it does, he goes into his experience with Meta and how they first met with Meta, and they claimed to have played the game but also didn't know what an action RPG was. And we claimed to be gaming people, and he was a little put off from this. And when he took it to PlayStation, they also hadn't played the game, but they watched him play it and like understood it as a game and understood the gameplay mechanics and understood what he was getting at. Whereas Meta sort of just looked at it as less of a game and more as like a tool in a way to the end. And sort of one of his main points of this was that Meta was using game studios and games as a means to an end, as a means to getting people into these headsets for them to then use them, get them into Horizon Worlds or whatever else they so wanted them. It was sort of as a temporary tool to survive until they could, get that done. And that's sort of it was a very long Twitter rant. So I don't want to really read it all, but that was the main summary. And so he's very passionate about it. And Legendary Tales, I also want to mention, is getting some rave reviews from Pow in the Discord. He's enjoying the beginning there. And I got it early access on Steam way back when he was in early development of it. I don't remember how I found it, probably a Reddit post or something. I just wanted to support him. And it's not really a game for me. But if you're into an action, it's an action RPG. And you're going in, you're doing runs, you can do magic, you can do, it's kind of like Dungeons of Eternity, but a little less arcadey and more physics-based fighting and all that, and a lot more magic and a lot more in depth. You're going to spend like 45 minutes in this tutorial type of deal, trying to learn everything.
I'm curious to see how this game does, though. It's more expensive for what one would think.
It is $40. Well, it's a big game though. It is a big game.
Yeah. Oh, that's fair enough.
I also want to mention that BJ also mentioned a MG, which is a minimum guarantee, and this is something that sadly, as Bradley touched on in his podcast with Gamertag as well, and that some studios were getting a minimum guarantee, which is a lump sum from Meta, no matter how many games you sell. And they weren't necessarily putting forth the effort or the care into the game to make the best experience they could, because they were, resting on their laurels,
they already got,
so to say.
Yeah. They just need to get it out.
And this is sort of what happened in the gaming crash in the 80s, where Atari and the ET game and all that, and it sort of got ahead of itself and just burned down, and the NES flowered. And so we just need some NES flower power.
Need some
and the Virtual Boy's back, Dan.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Just to go back on Legendary Tales, I'm just reading the reviews here, and people absolutely love it. If you're into like more about, people are saying like a Diablo or a dungeon crawler, or like a kind of a hard game as well, like a Souls kind of Elden Ring kind of hard kind of game as well. But a lot of people, I'm just reading all the reviews here, and a lot of people love it. Only 81 reviews in general, but like 4.9 stars average. And
also, single player or multiplayer.
I see that. Yeah, I see that. So I see. I mean, just judging by that and the reviews, I see why it's at at $40. It does look like a more polished Dungeons of Eternity from just the screenshots and the GIFs and stuff, or the GIFs rather, sorry, and whatnot.
Tomato.
Yeah. I hope it does do well. This could be it could be a hidden gem of this year. Who's to say?
Who is to say?
Who's to say? It's not my type of game. Like in terms of the theme and such, I don't think it's my. Maybe that's just why I haven't even got into Dungeons of Eternity, let alone this. So, if I wasn't going to go into that, then what am I doing here? But I'm curious. It's got really good reviews, so like maybe the combat's really good as well, and obviously the skill trees and all that stuff. So, Samson, might be something later down the year we might hear more of, as more and more people.
It's true. It's fun to discover it. Yeah. But Dan, our last bit of controversy for the week. You ready for this one? There's more. We got our Luke Ross mod controversy, and longtime listeners might know I've played some Luke Ross mods, the Red Dead Redemption 2 mod a bit, and Luke Ross, he's a freelance VR modder, and about 40 or so games out there that are flat games that he has made a mod that works to allow you to play them in VR. And this is more akin to the Comment, where it's a VR camera and you're playing it with a controller. And his one of the more recent popular ones was Cyberpunk 2077. And so came out in 2022, the VR mod. And apparently, when it came out, Luke Ross had reached out to the developers of Cyberpunk and asked if they wanted to make some sort of official mod, and they didn't get back. Then nothing happened for 4 years for some reason, and then they DMCA'd him because Luke Ross charges every month for access to his mods, which is a bit out of the ordinary. Normally, these things happen like Team Beef, where they charge for early access mods that are in work, and then once they're finished, they are free. If you have the game, and so CD Projekt Red asked him to make it free or take it down. He took it down, and then from there, Dan, I need a sip of water. Just a second.
Yeah, that's okay. We both got sore throats. But you can.
So, yes, Patreon took it down. And then there was a bit of a back and forth between the VP, Jan Rosner, on Twitter, saying each of them was trying to defend themselves. And at this point, Luke Ross has pretty much lost everybody on his side. Everybody on his side was like, all right, just make it donation based, make it this one free, something like this. He's saying that he can't make the mod only work for just that one game. Like that takes work. So what people did was people were not happy with Luke Ross charging for his mods. And so they started pirating them. And so Luke Ross mods got pirated so much that he has now taken down all of the mods and paused his Patreon for the next month, hoping for it all to blow over. And that's what we have. And in all this, Flat to VR has at least pinged the CD Projekt Red.
Yeah, they messaged. I saw that.
Asking for them to maybe do a official port. And Dan, let me tell you, if Cyberpunk is Flat to VR's door to AAA VR ports, hell yeah. Sign me up. Crazy. I'm in. That would be awesome. Yeah. I don't think it'll happen, but I hope so.
No. That'd be crazy. That'd be mental, because I think they'd be like, okay, I guess we'll do it. It's this is an interesting one. I don't know where I stand on this. I understand it's very annoying, with what it is, but it's in the end of the day, you're not allowed to charge for these things. It's normally the kind of normal thing. I know he's saying like it's more of a tool rather than a mod, but it's still using, like, you still need it's still using basically the game. It's part of the game. It's you know, in normally with anything like this, if you have any altercations or mods and such, absolutely fine for most people, apart from Nintendo. They obviously hate everything. But when it comes to charging, you just can't do that. You know, we saw as well, I'm not sure we saw, because some people probably haven't seen, but in like the retro community with all the like retro software that you can get to be able to play. Yeah, all that stuff. All of that stuff is fine. It's all free. However, when User, I think it was, which was the Switch one, they charged for it through their Patreon, and Nintendo went at them and then got them taken down and such. But all the other stuff, like the Citra and everything else, or the Game Boy retro ones, they're all free, so they can't really take them down. They're just, you know, that, and plus that, you know, that's not the issue. It's the pirating of the software is the issue.
ROMs,
sure, this can then play it. It's the actual ROMs. So as soon as you start charging for it in Patreon, it's a big no-no, and I'm surprised that Cyberpunk didn't take this down way sooner, to be honest. It's only just now, so I understand. It's so annoying. Obviously, that's his income as well, because it's on, and it's been fine for 4 years and such. But it's kind of only a matter of time, and I'm sure if he just makes this free and adds the donations and makes it free, he might still get some.
Think about how much press he was getting, and he could have just, if he could have figured out a way to offer it at a free or donation tier, he would have probably made more in donations than
potentially, and still probably could potentially, you know. But yeah, that's wild. Things are kicking off.
Yeah, that's that. And a cat.
All right, Samson, that will do for part 2. Part 3, we'll talk about a little bit of what we've been playing in games out this week before we wrap it up. So we'll see you in part 3. Let's Talk Oculus is available on all good podcast platforms and some rubbish ones as well. If you want to see the video version, it's available on YouTube and Spotify. And also, if you love us so much, then consider throwing us $1 at patreon.com/Let's Talk Oculus. Back to the show. Welcome back to part 3 of LTO 222. We've talked about a bunch of news and some questions, and you know, it's been a bit of an odd pod with our voice as well, or my voice at least.
ASMR pod.
Yeah, let's talk about what we've been playing. I'll start here. I've been playing Crafting Crimes. Crafting Crimes won our hidden game of the year. An excellent game made by the folks behind like the JFK Memento, I believe it is the like documentary series.
Sounds right.
I want to say it's Memento. Maybe not. Maybe that's just the Nolan film. But maybe they do really like immersive kind of documentary, or at least the JFK one is. And Crafting Crimes is essentially everything I love about VR. It's not really a game, to be honest. It's what it is. It's free to download. You've got 3 chapters, or chapter 3 is not really out yet, but you got 2 chapters at the moment. The first chapter's free. Second chapter is paid
$1.99
DLC. Yeah. I just played the free one for now. Just didn't really have too much time, but it's amazing. So you've got the narrator, or the tiny house model person, and it's done in 3D, 3D basically stereoscopic video, and
Dude,
you can watch.
I was trying to figure out how they film this, because it feels like a spatial video, kind of, where it feels like a more depth than a normal spatial video.
It's incredibly depth. The depth is incredible, and then obviously the room darkens, but you have her in this video, and it looks really good, and the sound quality is really good. Everything's like really top notch in quality, and she's explaining this murder basically, or this like famous or infamous murder, and this is the Lizzie Borden house, if you want to look it up, which was years and years, decades and decades ago.
Dan,
but,
we could go. It's only like 45 minutes to an hour from me.
No, from you? No way.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we should scare the crap out of us. Is it still standing?
I have no idea, but it's in Fall River. It's about that long.
You're gonna have to see if it's still there. I don't know if that's still there, to be honest. But so the narrator speaks to you, and then essentially what she says is that she makes these kind of tiny houses, and essentially does it so she can maybe see exactly how the crime was done. She even puts the blood splatter and everything in, and it's very cool because then she's like, okay, now you do it. Now you build this house. Now, when it comes to building a house, there's not really much to it. Essentially, there's a floor plan, and then you got the pieces. It's like a little bit of a jigsaw puzzle, and then you're just basically putting them on. But every time you put a piece on the area, she gives you some more of the story.
Yeah,
so you
it's
put
a
the
narrative
kitchen down.
tool.
It's a narrative tool more than anything. You put the kitchen down, and she says, oh, the kitchen was blah, blah, blah. And then you put the different items down on the featured room, and it gives you more and more of the story to more like understand and uncover. And it's just incredibly immersive, and it really makes you interested of what happens.
Wait, Dan, before you move on.
Yeah.
So it's building this house, and then it's just a completed house when you're done, right? And you can't see inside. So it took me a while to realize your hand is like I don't know what to call it, but you can see through the house if you just move your hand.
You just put your hand around, and it kind of like fades some of the house away, so you can kind of uncover.
It took me a while to figure that out.
Yeah, because otherwise you got a roof on there, and you're like, okay, I can't see anything now. But then you get to watch the murder unfold, and it's like shadows in the house, and it's all kind of eerie. Like, I was in the house on my own whilst watching this, or kind of watching / playing this, and I got scared. I definitely got scared. And then you watch the murders happen, and then you hear all the theories that people kind of have on what actually happened. But it's only like 10 minutes or so. And that's pretty much it. And it's just like an immersive way to kind of understand or listen to a story. The other ones might be a bit longer. But only 10 minutes. So.
I did the second one. It was about the same length, maybe just a little bit longer, but it was about the same length. And it played out pretty much the same. In fact, a little bit of the intro was identical.
All right.
To how it introduced like the concept of the tiny house and all that.
What was the second one like? Did you enjoy it more, or was it pretty much on par?
The first one felt a bit more local, it taking place in Massachusetts and all.
That's fair.
The next one took place, I think, in LA or something like this, and it was a drug murder, and it was a bit more graphic, and the blood was instead of the blood being red, it was done in glow in the dark paint, and then it was as if you had the black light to look at paint type of deal.
Oh, very cool.
So it's kind of cool how she treats them as like an art piece.
Yeah, that's really cool.
That was pretty cool. Yeah, this is the type of stuff I love, Dan. Really, I can't believe it took me so long to finally get in it. Right. It really does play like a movie or a short documentary, if you will.
That's right.
Certainly shorter than a movie. There's a lot left because it says after you do it, you can explore the house, and that option is still coming soon. So that's a little sad. I do want to explore it.
Yeah, I thought you'd be able to do it, but it's not. It's currently locked.
Yeah, and there's a third one coming. So honestly, when I saw that this was funded by Meta, I got a little nervous that this might not be completed. But what's there is free, and then $2, and those were pretty good.
Yeah, and there's also a voting aspect of it, which is also coming soon, where like you can vote just who the killer is and all that stuff, so you can see in a survey and what other people are. So yeah, it's not much to it right now, but it's just another example of how good the medium is, like how good VR is and what you can do with it. We saw these perfect examples with like Arkham as well, as a game that's been so built for VR with all the different mechanics that you can do, where it's a game that brings you to that platform because it's not something that you can experience outside of it. And this is another perfect example. of it, and we've got lots of great examples. And maybe one day we'll do a podcast episode of showcasing maybe one of the best examples of VR, and stuff like this, and the JFK Memento. I want to say, I hope it's Memento. I've said it too many times now. Games like Arcane Age, games like Puzzling Places and such. These are games that suit the medium so well, and I always love when we have something like this. So very, very cool. I also played some Walkabout, but we talked a lot about that recently last week, because that course,
new course,
Tiki at Coco. Yeah, I've just been playing more of that because it's so much fun. It's so much fun. I really like the music a lot, Samson. Yeah, I generally like it's I think it's a love letter to all the Walkabout fans who have been playing over the years. To be honest, But over to you. What else have you been playing,
Dan? I've been getting into Forefront here and there. I've been I've been hoping to get in the new map, Tunnels. I heard it's a lot smaller. There's no big vehicles. There's only the little four-wheelers. Yeah. And I just haven't been able to get in, but I've been having a blast just leveling up all my roles, if you will. I hadn't really played much Assault, so I think now I got Assault, Medic, and Engineer. They're all level 3 on my quest, and I haven't really played Recon yet, which is the sniper. So I've got to get into that one a bit, but I've been having a good time with my buddy Tucker and Void and Hack, and yeah, Dan, you got to get in there again. This is one that's pretty fun because you can play for just a round is 20 minutes. So you just hop in, you play around, and you call it if you want.
Yeah, very cool.
Last, I got into Dispatch, which is a flat game. But I played it in big screen with about 4 other people, Bits, Hack, and Void. And Dispatch is a flat game that plays like a choose your own adventure type. It's sort of I think it's by some of the people who did the Tales games, the Walking Dead. And so it plays like an anime, and then you'll get a choice, and then you'll have to do maybe a little bit of gameplay where you play as a dispatcher of superheroes, and so little incidents come up, and you've got to dispatch you got to dispatch the proper superhero, and then there's a lot of narrative in between these things, and it's pretty good time. So we all sit there, and they all shout out how they want me to answer. I hopefully pick the one that most people want, and we go from there. And then afterwards, so we played through the first 2 chapters. I think there's 5 or 6, and then I played on my Steam Deck in flat. I redid the first 2 chapters to try to pick different things, and I got so immersed that I actually forgot that a plot point that happened, and I made the same mistake again.
This looks really good. I really enjoyed the Telltale games. I really loved Walking Dead. I remember playing that on the Vita, actually. I absolutely loved every minute of that whole first season, especially. I think one of the games, I liked the Back to the Future one a little bit as well. Didn't like the Batman one as much. I'm not sure if I can remember much other ones, but
I never played them.
I played them. They used to be great on the Vita. I have a lot of PS Vita stuff because I've just been listening to the store music.
You're making me want to get one. You still got it?
No, I don't have it. But they had really some games that just worked so well on that little handheld, that little platform. They're really cheap as well. They're not expensive if you wanted to get one on the market. They'll probably cost you $100 if that, maybe a little bit less. And a lot of games like this one worked so well because it was just a nice little handheld for it. Obviously, I don't think you'll be able to play Dispatch on a PS Vita because it's more of a newer game. But this seems like a game, that I'd love to play actually on the Steam Deck. It's got 100,000 reviews and overwhelmingly positive.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, and it's not too expensive either. So yeah, this won a Steam Awards 2025 Outstanding Story, Rich Gameplay. The art is beautiful.
Yeah.
Really good.
It kind of feels like if Invincible was turned into a movie type of deal.
Yeah. And it is Telltale people. Obviously Telltale closed down a long time ago, and it's a lot of industry veterans from that team kind of put together ad hoc studio.
There you have
but
it.
there's also other people from different studios like Ubisoft and such, but definitely people from Telltale. Excellent. Good stuff. All right, Samson, that will do the last part of the show. Games out this week. I'm sorry for making you talk, but can you do the games out
do
this
both
week?
of them?
Yes, please.
Oh, nice. Orcs, wait, didn't Orcs Must Die get a little delay, or did it get delayed to this week?
I thought it's out this week.
Regardless, I'll do the next one just while you're checking. Pirates VR Jolly Roger. The Caribbean Dream of Every Pirate, coming next year, January 29th. Pirates VR Jolly Roger with beautiful lands to explore, glitter and gold booty you don't have to share with anyone else, except for that parrot constantly at your side, flapping its beak, joking around, telling you what to do. Stunning shores, but also dark and dangerous caves. Treasure hunts, but with an element of surprise. Unexpected meetings with not-so-friendly creatures. Paths to pick your brain and test your agility. The seas may be rough, but remember, you're the captain now. Yarr!
This game actually is already out on Steam, and mixed reviews, shall we say. Mostly positive, but mixed reviews. A lot of people saying I have no idea what to do. I'm in the game, but I have no idea what's happening.
You're just a pirate, mate.
Nice. Yeah, that's fair. It's also a short game. It's 2 hours long, but it's only $12.99 USD. That's all it is. So if you're into pirates, I'm really not into pirates for some reason. But if you're into pirates,
I think that's
go
normal.
for it. Yeah. Is this one for you, Samson? Or no?
I actually might have this in my Steam library because I think it's been on sale a few times, but
Yeah.
I'm not too interested in the pirate life either. Did you get an update on Orcs Must Die?
I did. It is February 5th now. You were right. It is February 5th. So we'll read out that description the week after next. Yeah, the week after next. All right, Samson, I guess we wrap up our show.
Great episode.
Thanks for everyone who stayed with us with this lot of comments / news. And then obviously my voice and such. But thanks, Samson, for reading out a lot more stuff.
Yeah, a lot more me this episode, so people might have tuned out earlier.
Maybe you used to say, I don't know, those Samson / Mike episodes always used to do well.
Yeah. I don't know. My girlfriend said I have a lisp or something like this, or I whistle when I do my S's, and now I hear it like basically every time I do an S, and now everybody else will too. And
I have not recognized that. So I will keep. I've listened to you speak for at least 222 hours, and I've never noticed that.
Maybe you listen at a fast enough speed where it's gone. I don't know.
Maybe it's something to do with the mic. The mic just gets rid of your lisps.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'll look out for it in March, and we'll go from there. All right, everybody. Thanks for listening to the show. As always, join the Discord. Send us $1 at Patreon if you want to support us. I've been Dan. He's been Samson. We will see you next week.